Okay, at this point, you should have the software ready to write a new program. Let's get started. This is Lego software. It's been designed to look a little bit Lego-y too. Down at the bottom of the screen, they give us a bunch of different bricks that we can use, and there's different categories of bricks. These are the action bricks. You can also click on some of these other categories. There's flow control. They all look interesting. Sensor. There's a bunch of other ones here. We're not going to look at that right now. For now, we're just going to go to the action area. And this area up here is called the programming canvas. Oop, I forgot to close. Let's just close the content editor. You've probably done that already, so we have a little bit more room. So here's our programming canvas. And what we're going to do is we're going to drag bricks up to this canvas and hook them up to this brick here that looks a little bit like a start button. And we'll build up programs by attaching different things to do to this start button. Now, we want our robot to say good morning, so we're going to start by grabbing a sound block and just dragging that up onto the programming canvas. And you'll see when I hook that up close enough to that play block, you'll see how we get that kind of shadow area behind it. And now if I let go, boop, it hooks up. And if you grab the wrong block, if you want to get rid of a block, you can just drag the block away, click on it, and then you can either press the delete key on your keyboard or you can just drag it back down here. And as long as you put it under here, it goes away. Oops, mine didn't go away. Put it down there. There we go. It goes away. And so let's grab that sound block again. Notice, by the way, that if it doesn't get connected right up to this play block, it's kind of a little bit grayed out. Right? So let's drag it and hook it up to that play block. It's absolutely essential that your block is connected to the play block on the programming canvas. The EV3 only considers instructions that are connected to this play block to be part of its program. So this program that you see here has one block, a sound block, that's correctly connected. In both of these examples, the sound blocks are not correctly connected. You can see how they're a little bit grayed out. As far as the EV3 is concerned, there are no blocks in either of these programs. Finally, take a look at this picture. You can see one sound block that's correctly placed and another that's not. I know that the examples I've just shown you on the slides make the error really obvious. I did my best to make it less obvious, but it's difficult. You can see as I get close, that kind of shows up. But there we go. You know, the most important thing for you to know is you need to make sure that your blocks are correctly connected. Okay, so let's get back to our program. To pick a sound to play, you're going to just click in this little box in the top right corner of the sound block. And what you're going to do is click on the Lego sound files. You can actually record your own sounds if you want, but we're just going to use the pre-recorded sounds. So we're going to go in here. There's a lot of different categories you can see of different sounds. We're going to use communication. I happen to know that's where the good morning words are. And you can see there's good job and good and goodbye. There is no good morning, but you know what? There's good here and morning is a little bit further down. So for now, let's just pick good.
Good.
And in the next segment, we'll modify our program so the robot says good morning. The next step is to save our program. But before we do so, you need to understand two terms that Lego uses: program and project. Suppose I've built a robot car design for my EV3. I may have several different tasks I want my car to be able to do. For example, I might want it to be able to do three things. First, drive around on a road without hitting any other cars. Second, parallel park. And third, play some silly music. Maybe my car's actually an ice cream truck. In Lego terms, I'm going to have one project, my robot car. You can think of the project as the high-level concept. My robot car project is going to be made up of 3 different programs. Those are the specific things that my robot car can do. In this case, my programs are drive around, parallel park, and play music. So if you look up here at the tabs, you'll see we have both a project name and a program name. So I'm going to rename this program. Calling it program isn't very descriptive, so I'm going to double click right here on the word program. And why don't we call this good morning? So I'm just going to type good morning. Okay. And then I'm going to give my project a more general name. So what I'm going to do, you can't just double click on the project name. To save the project, you need to go to the File menu and say Save Project or Save Project As. And it'll ask you for a name. I'm going to call it JSK, that's my initials, and then maybe a dash, and EV3 practice. Okay, and the .EV3 suffix we just leave on there. And now you can see my project name is JSK-EV3 practice, and this particular program is called Good Morning. My colleague Dale Yoakum, who's one of the consultants on this course, gave me the idea of including the author's initials as part of each project name when multiple students are sharing an EV3. If you do this from the very beginning, they'll get used to it very quickly. I'll show you why it's useful in a minute. Remember, right now the program exists on your computer, but it's not on your EV3 yet. So connect your EV3 up to your computer. And then turn on your EV3's power. Take a look at your EV3 screen and make sure you have this tiny USB icon in the top right corner. If so, you're good to go. If not, then go back to the lesson on connecting your EV3 to your computer. Okay, so my EV3 is now powered up and connected. And so now we're going to download the program and the project from my computer to the EV3. And the way we do that is we go down here on the right, there's this little down arrow, and we just click. If your program didn't download, that's usually either because your EV3 isn't turned on or because you forgot to use the USB cable to connect your EV3 to your computer. The EV3 typically starts with you in the recently run area. I encourage you and your students to ignore this tab completely. I find that recently run confuses people more than it helps them, particularly since things that have just been downloaded don't appear in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to push this right button, and that takes us into the All Programs area. And I don't know if you can read this, but you can see it says JSK on there and then the EV3 practice. Can't read the whole of the EV3 practice, and now you can see why we put the initials on there. If there were a whole bunch of different projects on here, it'd be nice to have mine with the JSK on there. We're going to push the middle button to say go into that EV3 practice project. And now you can see that it's got the name of my program on there along with the name of a sound that we used, right? The good sound. But we're just going to go down, arrow into the good program, or sorry, the good morning program. And then I'm going to push the middle button. Okay, that was great, though remember our ultimate goal is to get the robot to say good morning. We'll fix our program in the next segment.